Have you ever spent hours cramming for an exam, felt confident you knew the material, only to have your mind go completely blank a week later? Or perhaps you've read a brilliant business book, highlighted dozens of passages, but a month later, your habits haven't changed at all. This frustrating cycle is not a personal failure. It's the result of a fundamental flaw in how we are taught to learn. We are told to memorize, to absorb, to cram information into our heads as if our brain were a storage unit. But this method is a trap. It creates what I call the illusion of knowledge. Memorization builds a fragile scaffolding of facts. It looks impressive from a distance, but the moment you put any real-world pressure on it, in a job interview, a high-stakes presentation, or a complex life decision, the entire structure collapses. The information you thought you possessed simply isn't there when you need it most. It was never truly yours. Today, we are going to dismantle that broken system. We will explore a method so powerful that it feels like a secret, yet so simple, that anyone can start using it in the next 5 minutes. This is not about learning more. It's about learning deeper. It's about transforming information from something you merely remember into something you fundamentally understand. The fastest path to genuine learning is not through passive absorption, but through active creation. The method is simple. You learn by attempting to teach. This technique, often credited to the brilliant physicist Richard Feynman, can be broken down into 4 clear steps. This is your starting point. Pick any idea you want to master. The law of supply and demand, a historical event, a complex coding function, a philosophical theory. Study it as you normally would. Read the chapter, watch the lecture, take notes. But here's the key. Do not move on until you feel you have a basic grasp of the material. Now this is where the magic begins. Imagine you are explaining this concept to someone who has no prior knowledge, a child, a friend in a different field, or even just an empty chair. The medium doesn't matter. The act of teaching does. Write it down, or even better, speak it out loud. You must translate the complex terminology and jargon from your source material into simple, clear language. Use analogies. Create metaphors. If you were explaining photosynthesis, don't just say, chloroplasts convert light energy into chemical energy. Say, imagine the leaves of a plant are tiny solar-powered kitchens. They take in sunlight, water, and air and cook up their own food to grow. This act of translation forces your brain to engage with the material on a completely different level. You can't hide behind big words. You are compelled to confront what you actually know. As you try to teach, you will inevitably stumble. You'll hesitate. You'll say, and then this part, it kind of connects to the other thing. You might forget a key detail or find yourself unable to explain the link between 2 ideas. This is not failure. This is the most critical part of the process. Every single time you get stuck, you have just discovered a gap in your understanding. These are the weak links in your knowledge chain. Mark them down. These sticking points are a gift. They are a precise diagnostic map showing you exactly where you need to go back and learn more. This time, your goal is to make your explanation even simpler, even more elegant. Can you use a better analogy? Can you explain it in fewer words? Can you tell it as a story? You repeat this cycle of teaching, identifying gaps, and simplifying until you can deliver a clear, concise, and confident explanation without any hesitation. When you can do that, the knowledge is yours forever. This method isn't just a clever trick. It's rooted in the fundamental science of how our brains learn. When you simply read a text or listen to a lecture, you are engaged in passive review. Information flows in one direction, washing over you, but very little of it sticks. It's like trying to build a sandcastle with dry sand. When you force yourself to explain, you trigger 3 powerful cognitive processes. First, active recall. Instead of looking at the answer in the book, you are forcing your brain to retrieve the information from its own memory banks. This act of retrieval is like exercising a muscle. It strengthens the neural pathways associated with that memory, making it far easier to access in the future. Second, metacognition, or thinking about your thinking. The process of organizing your thoughts to teach someone else compels you to evaluate your own level of understanding. You are forced to ask, do I really get this, or am I just repeating words? This self-awareness is the cornerstone of effective learning. Third, construction, not just reception. Your brain doesn't learn by being a passive receptacle. It learns by building mental models. When you create your own explanation, with your own analogies and your own structure, you are actively constructing a new piece of your mental world. That's why it feels so solid. You didn't just rent the idea, you built it yourself. Let's be clear about what simple means. It does not mean dumbed down. It means distilled to its essence. It's the difference between a tangled mess of yarn and a single strong thread. Albert Einstein famously said, "If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself." Great thinkers throughout history understood that complexity is often a crutch for a mind that hasn't done the hard work of thinking. True mastery lies in elegance and clarity. When you can explain a complex idea simply, it signals more than just knowledge. It signals authority and confidence. You are no longer tethered to the original textbook definition. You are free. The I's information ceases to be a burden you carry and becomes a versatile tool you can use to solve problems, innovate, and persuade others. This is the ultimate goal, to transform fragile, complex information into robust, simple wisdom. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds great, but isn't it awkward to talk to myself? And where do I find the time? These are common and valid concerns. Let's address them head-on. First, the awkwardness. Yes, it can feel strange at first, but reframe it. You are not talking to yourself. You are engaging in a proven, high-performance training technique used by top performers in every field. It is your private mental gym. The initial discomfort is a small price to pay for the incredible cognitive gains. Second, the time. The beauty of this method is that it doesn't require long, dedicated blocks of time. You must learn to use the hidden pockets of your day, what I call found time. Are you commuting to work? Turn off the radio and explain the main point of the meeting you just left. Are you waiting in line for coffee? Mentally run through an explanation of a concept from the article you read this morning. Are you doing chores like washing dishes? Use that time to teach yourself a new skill, step by step. These small, consistent 5-minute sessions are far more effective than one frantic, multi-hour cram session. They leverage the power of spaced repetition, allowing your brain to solidify knowledge over time. Most people waste these moments on mindless scrolling. You can use them to build a sharper, more capable mind. This is more than just a study hack. When you commit to this practice, you are fundamentally rewiring your brain. Over weeks and months, something extraordinary begins to happen. You start to think differently. Your mind automatically begins to seek clarity in everything. When you encounter a new idea, your brain no longer asks, "How can I memorize this?" but, "How would I explain this?" You become a better communicator, both with others and with yourself. You can articulate your ideas with more precision and confidence. You become a more effective problem solver, able to break down large, intimidating challenges into a series of simple, manageable steps. This is the ultimate payoff. You don't just get better at passing tests, you get better at thinking. You move from being a consumer of information to a creator of clarity. This is the foundation upon which true expertise, innovation, and leadership are built. Knowledge is not a destination. It's a process of construction. If you take this method seriously, if you commit to it, you will leave the vast majority of people behind. While they are drowning in a sea of information, you will be navigating with a clear map and a steady hand. So here is my challenge to you. Today, right after this video, pick one concept, anything you want to learn better. Spend just 5 minutes trying to explain it out loud. Find the gaps. Feel the struggle. That struggle is the sound of your mind getting stronger. Make a pact with yourself. Go to the comments and write, "Clarity is my power." Let this be your declaration that you are finished with the fragile world of memorization. You are choosing to build a mind of solid, unshakable understanding. If this lesson has provided you with value, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Remember, those who teach, learn. Those who simplify, master. And those who practice this every single day become unstoppable.